We'll start with a brief tour of the program so you can start learning what the different areas are called and what they do. Libraries are where you collect and organize all the elements of the program you're working on. When you're ready to start a new program, you'll create a new library. Each library contains one or more events. Just click an event to see its contents. Events can contain source material like video clips, graphics, photos, and sound files. They also contain the actual editing work you're doing, what Final Cut calls projects. You can have just one event holding everything related to that program, or you can create separate events for different types of items. For example, this library contains an event for projects, one for clips, and one for music. Double-click a project in an event to open it in the timeline. A project is where you actually edit your program, and the timeline is a visual representation of that work. You'll use the timeline to arrange video clips one after another from left to right. You can also add transitions between clips or place titles above the clips. When you play a video clip in an event, the viewer is where you see it playing. Switch to the timeline to play the project you're working on, and the viewer will shift focus and show that instead. The inspector is just to the right of the viewer. Turn the inspector on and off using this button just below it. The inspector shows details about the item you most recently clicked on, including video clips, graphics, audio, and titles. You can access titles, transitions, filters, and more using the effect browsers to the right of the timeline. Most browsers provide quick previews of their contents. To see an example of this, open the Transitions browser. Hover the mouse cursor over any transition and drag left and right to see a preview in the viewer of how that transition will look. Look for the time counter in the middle of the interface. This will reflect timecode in either events or projects. There is also a small audio level meter here. Click it to open up a larger version of the audio meters to the right of the timeline in browsers. The tool palette is located along the same row as the time counter and the browser buttons. Most of the time you'll use the Select tool, also known as the arrow tool. If you happen to bump a key on the keyboard that activates a tool you didn't intend to use, just come back to the tool palette and select the arrow tool.